Hello and welcome to another match reaction on Football Talk podcast. My name is Ozzy and I'm the host with the most. Now that's what you call domination. A team that went pretty much undefeated last season got scored today at Anfield as Liverpool demolished by Leverkusen 4-0 tonight. And what a performance from the Reds. So tonight we'll discuss the key moments of the game. I'll then present my player ratings. And if there's anyone who wants to come in and call in during the show, a link has been pinned in the live chat. So feel free to hit that link and I'll get you on before I begin the show today. So let's talk about the first half. Very much even Stevens in the first half. It was a tactical game where both teams were cancelling each other out. No real chances created. Liverpool did have a couple of shots on goal. Salah had an effort from the right hand side where he hit straight at the keeper, and Gakpo replicated the same type of effort on the left side. Frimpong did hit the back of the net for Bayer Leverkusen, but he handballed it in the build-up, and VAR correctly ruled it out. In the second half, uh, we saw a different Liverpool team. The crowd was more vocal, and that was reflected in how the team played in the second half. A little bit more dynamic, more energy. Brownberg almost got to a score sheet. He went on a bit of a mazy run in the middle of the park. For me, I was screaming at him, hoping he'd shoot, but he laid it off to Mohamed Salah. We ended up having a wayward right shot attempt, completely missed the target. As I said, Gravenberch for me should have been a bit more greedy and gone for goal for himself as he created half a yard and had the opportunity to shoot on goal. But Liverpool managed to break the deadlock through a Luis Diaz goal, a sublime pass by Curtis Jones to split the Leverkusen defence. Luis Diaz is through on goal and dinks the ball over the keeper. What a finish. Something out of Luis Suarez's book, in my opinion. Definitely seen those goals over the years. But it didn't take Liverpool to respond and score their second goal as Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah are passing to each other on the right-hand side. Salah hits a first-time cross with his right foot. Gakpo is at the near post and applies a diving header to make it 2-0. VAR reviewed the goal for a possible offside. It was never in doubt. Gakpo was clearly onside and the goal remained. Leverkusen should have scored moments later as Boniface has a point-blank header, but he misses the target completely. Poor miss from the striker, who's known to be very prolific, and he had a very quiet game at Anfield today. Luis Diaz then scored the third goal. McAllister drives with the ball, passes to Salah, who hits a first-time cross towards that near post. Diaz controls it and hits a snapshot to make it 3-0. Kelleher, despite not being active throughout the game, was required to be in action as he ended up producing a double save minutes after that third goal. Schick and Wirtz were on the attack there for Leverkusen. Then the German international Andrich has a shot from the edge of the box, but Kelleher matches him with a good save. Liverpool then cap off the evening with a fourth goal. Great defensive block by Robertson to start off the play. He lays it off to McAllister. He threads the ball neatly towards Nunez, who drives with the ball. He's got a few players around him where he can set them up to convert a finish, but he goes for goal himself. His shot gets blocked initially, but then Luis Diaz is able to find the ball from the rebound and converts his shot with a no-look finish in Firmino fashion to claim his hat-trick. So well done to Lucho. And what a dominant performance from the Reds. The first half, it was definitely a tightly contested affair. But in the second half, we upped the levels and showed a new gear to our play. A clean sheet, which is always a bonus. And everyone played their part, in my opinion. I don't think there was any weak links in our team. So credit to the boys who deserve all the praise today. And for me, it's also a statement win for the rest of Europe. And let everyone know that we're here to compete and we won't be going anywhere. Also, a nice victory for Arne Slot, who some fans are still not convinced by. But we just beat a team 4-0 by the manager who was highly sought after and a lot of us Liverpool fans wanted in Xabi Alonso. So I've learned that you can't please everyone in football, but from what I've seen the last few months, Arne Slot has been doing a fantastic job. And I think we can improve even further under his coaching, which is a scary thought for the rest of Europe. So now it's time to do the player ratings. If you'd like to come on the show and have your say. I have pinned a link in the live chat, so feel free to hit that link. Stay backstage, and I will get you on very shortly. But we'll do the player ratings in the meantime. So here we go. We'll start with Kelleher in goal, and to be honest with you, he had pretty much a quiet afternoon. Wasn't involved in a lot of the action. In the second half, he had to produce a double save. And then, as I mentioned, Andrich, the German international, had a shot from the edge of the box, and he made a save there as well. So even though 2-3 late saves in the game, I still feel like it was a solid performance from the goalkeeper. In the first half, it wasn't really troubled that much, but it definitely looked assured in between the sticks. And I feel like defensively, he did his part. He caught a couple of the ball during set pieces. So overall, a solid game from Kelleher. So he gets a score of 8 out of 10. On to Trent Alexander-Arnold. I thought he had a very solid game as well. Defensively, very good. A lot more involved in the attacking play in the second half, where he would literally get the ball off Konate, one touch, and he's zipping passes across the pitch, through to Salah, through to Luis Diaz, and he definitely found his range in the second half. So for me, an all-round solid performance from our right back there, and he's been one of our top performers this season. And I know a lot of people will always pinpoint some of his defensive ability, which, you know, I feel like people need to change the tune now, reflect his performances of this season rather than what he produced in the past. Because this season, for me, he's definitely stepped it up a notch. Defensively, he's been very hard to break down in terms of one-on-one duels. It's something that he's been training towards with Arne Slot. So, you know, he's being coached to be better defensively, and it's paying off in my opinion. So another solid performance from Trent. He also gets an 8 out of 10. Didn't think he'd be starting in this game, but gladly, you know, Konate made his start before he was going to be out with a medium to long-term injury, which he picked up against Brighton over the weekend. Thankfully, nothing came from it. It was just a sore one, and then he was ready, fit and ready for this game, and he produced another performance. He was so dominant that Boniface had to attack the wings rather than try and attack the two centre backs through the middle. He was pretty much quiet today, so we kept him offshores today. Defensively, dominant in the air. They couldn't get the ball off him. Covered Trent when required, but generally a very solid game. I remember in the second half, made a good couple of blocks, got the ball off people. I think there was a moment where Boniface tried to go up against him. He didn't want any of that smoke. So, no, another solid performance from Konate. I'm actually going to give him a rating of 9 out of 10. I thought he was very, very good today. Van Dijk, likewise, another solid performance from our captain. Took one in the face earlier in the first half from a Xhaka long-range shot. You know, so brave defending from our captain there. But generally, very good on the ball. Passing range, a little bit of miss with some of his long-range passes. But that's me, you know, nitpicking here. But I think overall, a very, very solid from our captain. Led by example, made sure the defensive line was always together, gave instructions to Simicaz in terms of his positioning, and made sure everything was organized at the back. So another great performance from him. So he gets an 8.5 out of 10. Very solid performance from Simicaz. Pleased that he got the start today. I think he was fully deserved after his great performance against Brighton over the weekend. And he's continued that good form going forward. Frimpong, who I thought was going to be a danger man, didn't have much going on today. Simicaz kept him at bay defensively, kept him quiet. They had a few one-on-one duels. Frimpong only got past him once, but he had to handball it in order to get past him. But generally, Simicaz had him in his pocket. Now, you know, not to be rude to Frimpong, but Frimpong wasn't really influential in this game whatsoever. So credit to Simicaz in terms of his attacking contribution to the team. Produced some good, decent set pieces, whipped in crosses. So no, I thought overall another solid performance from the Greek Scouser. So he gets the same score trend for 8 out of 10. Now on to Groundberg. For me, a solid performance. I thought first half it was a little bit quiet than normal, but in the second half he definitely picked up the speed. Was producing those trademark half turns that he does now. Decent on the ball, kept possession really well. So another solid performance from um, our star player this year. One of our best performers in my opinion. So he gets an 8 out of 10. For McAllister, a much better improvement in terms of his performance today. Very, very good performance. He was more tenacious in his play in terms of tackling, getting under the ball. He was showing his passing range today, very quick, helped create a lot of counter attacks, especially in the second half. So a much better performance from him. Looked a bit more energetic, so a lot more fitter than he has been the last few weeks. So for me, he gets an 8.5. I thought he was very, very good today. Curtis Jones, I was very impressed with him today as well. I feel like he got around the pitch really well. Didn't really play further up until probably the second half, but at the same time, definitely helped with the ball retention. Definitely helped in terms of making sure that he's laying off the right passes, not giving the ball away. Even if he's taking a few extra touches, I don't mind. I'd rather, he does his thing and keeps possession of the ball. That pass for Luis Diaz's goal was absolutely sublime. That was the difference in terms of both teams. None of the other players like Florian Wirtz or Garcia were able to split our defense like that. Jones was the difference maker, and that goal certainly set the tone for us to go on and produce more moments and end up winning the game 4-0. So that pass was inch perfect, really good pass from Curtis Jones. So for me, I was very impressed with his overall performance. He gets a 9 out of 10. And it's going to be a hard battle for Szoboszlai to get back in the team. If Jones continues this form, he has to stay in the team. And that's my opinion. Mohamed Salah had a good game, to be fair, with very interesting battle with Hincapi, who we all know, a player that's been linked with our club in the last year or two. I feel like Hincapi certainly found out, he was in for a game because Salah was ruffling him up a few times and they had some interesting battles. Hincapi tried to step on his toe just to aggravate him a little bit further. But I think Salah did really well, to be fair. Um, wasn't caught out in possession, dribbling wise, attacked the right flank really well, cut in when required, and tried to produce some quick moves and tried to set up other players. He ended up with 2 assists in the end. Provided the assist for Cody Gakpo's goal and then Luis Diaz's as well. So he was the complete playmaker today. Unlucky not to get on the score sheet himself. He did try, but just wasn't his day until in front of goal. But 2 assists to his name, you've got to give him a good score. For me, I think he had a good performance. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 as well. Cody Gakpo, another solid performance from him today. I think a lot of us were expecting him to play through the middle, as he's predominantly played as a false nine, especially when he first joined the club. Interesting tactic from Arne Slot. Credit to him for playing Diaz through the middle. It definitely caught Leverkusen off guarded. They weren't expecting a player to be dropping deep so much and attacking so aggressively in sort of moments of play as a team produce an attack. So that's a plus point from our manager. But in terms of Cody Gakpo's performance, I thought he produced a good performance today, really good. The goal, obviously, point blank range in terms of the distance, but you still have to get execution right. So good goal from him. Another goal to his tally. And this is why he's starting games now, because he's producing the goods. He's very impactful on that left flank, and it's just a natural position for him. So long may it continue in terms of his good form. For me, he gets an 8 out of 10. Luis Diaz, fantastic performance. I don't think I've seen him play in a central role for Liverpool. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe he has in previous games. But I was very, very impressed with him. And the great thing about our front three today was the ability of interchanging. Gakpo and Diaz were swapping positions quite a few times. Luis Diaz and Salah didn't do it that much, but it could have worked because Diaz has played on the left side for us on a couple of occasions this season, and Salah could easily have drifted in. So it was a very free-flowing front three today, and I really enjoyed it, to be fair. I think it's a front three going forward. that might be the first names on the team sheet, in my opinion. Especially with Jota out right now, I think these three could really work well together. And Luis Diaz, yeah, he showed a great account and showed a different side to his game. His first touch was really good, very smart in terms of controlling the ball and then getting away from the defender and laying it off to other players. Did that on a number of occasions, making runs where he had to drop deep at times to confuse the opposition and then make a direct run through the middle on the shoulder. And yeah, he had definitely possessed a different variation of attacks. And yeah, the Leverkusen defenders just couldn't handle him. Let's be brutally honest. And to top it up, of course, 3 times on the score sheet, a hat trick for Lucho. And yeah, what a performance! The goals were neatly taken. The first goal was a beautiful goal, something that you see Luis Suarez produce over the years for Liverpool. A lovely thing to finish. The second one, neat touch and snapshot, and then the third goal, pretty much a no look shot there from Lucha. So no, well done to him. Very good performance. Yeah, it goes without saying what score he gets. Scoring a hat trick. He deserves a 10 out of 10. What a performance from him. And because he's got that score, it's only right that we award the man of the match to Lucha. So well done to Lucha. He is our man of the match. And that is my rating. Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. Am I being too happy because we got a 4-0 victory? Have the scores been a bit too high? Maybe it's been influenced by the scoreline. Feel free to let me know. But this is the score, the rating that I have for our players. Before we close the show, I'm going to mention some of the substitutes that came on as well. So we had the likes of Darwin Núñez come on for Cody Gakpo. So let me bring on the screen, and then we've got Robertson like for Tsimikas. And then we have Bradley for Trent. And we have Szoboszlai for Curtis Jones. And we have Kwanzaa on for Konate. So let's start with, let's put the players in their correct position. So Darwin Núñez ended up being there. Diaz was there, and the rest are in the correct position. So let's start with Darwin Núñez. He actually had a decent cameo when he came on, especially the first couple of touches were really neat touches that led to counter attacks. So yeah, he did really well, to be fair. The last phase of the game, I don't blame him. He cut in and he took a shot himself. Probably should have laid off to Diaz, but obviously, thankfully, Diaz got the follow-up and then scored in the rebound to claim his hat-trick. But I think he had a good cameo. He did his thing. Good first touch, good turn of pace, driving the ball, creating a couple of counter-attacks, causing chaos, as he does. So, yeah, solid performance from Darwin. So, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Robertson, likewise. You know, I was having a debate with Steve. Shout out to Steve during the live watch along, and we were talking about who is the weak link in our team. And I've said it out loud. I think Robertson is a weak link in our team. Doesn't mean he's a terrible player. It's just that if I was an opposition manager, he would be the player I'd look at, and I'd try and make sure my right winger is on top of his game and is playing a direct game against him. Because if you're up against a pacey winger, Robertson seems to struggle, and he has done this season. So it's not something I'm saying where we need to dismiss the player and sell him right away or anything to that nature. I just feel like with Robertson, maybe it's time to reduce his number of minutes or reduce his starting positions by having him on the bench, having him as a more squad player, and allow Tsimikas to play week in, week out a little bit more. That's just my opinion. And I still feel like he has a very valuable influence in the team with his leadership qualities and just his experience. You know, with winning so many trophies over the years under Jurgen Klopp, he's still a valuable asset to our squad, especially for this season. Next season, that'll be another conversation. It'll be depending on how we finish and what we achieve this season, and that'll be another conversation for another day. But for the short term, he remains as a Liverpool player. And I thought he had a good performance today when he came on. he played a part in that fourth goal where he made that aggressive block that led to McAllister spraying it to Nunes. Nunes driving, hitting a shot that was blocked up, and then Diaz moved the finish. So he played his part in that fourth goal. Sorry. So for me, gets a decent score of 7 out of 10. The next player, Conor Bradley, didn't really get involved. I had a few touches in the first half, laying the ball off to Salah, but nothing to really shout about, or nothing that really stood out for me. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10. So Bosley didn't have that many touches, but when he did come on, it was pretty much, I think his first touch was where he was through and goal. First touch was rusty, and then unfortunately wasn't able to shoot. And then there was another time where he got body checked by Jonathan Tah, which, you know, can happen to anyone. He's a big fella. So yeah, an average performance of 6. I don't think he really stood out or did much, unlike Robertson or Darwin Núñez, in my opinion. And then we have Kwanzaa, who literally came on for like 5 minutes, I think. So I'm going to give him a rating of 5 just because he didn't really get much game time. So yeah, so that is my score. And that is my overall player rating for tonight. So that is it for today. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. In terms of upcoming content, I'll be doing an FC25 live show tomorrow as I continue my Liverpool manager career mode. And then on Thursday, I'll be doing a match preview of Liverpool versus Aston Villa, which should be taking place at 10 p.m. UK time, which is my normal time slot. And I'll also be doing a live watch along of that fixture. It's an unusual time of 8 p.m. On Saturday, UK time. So I'll be doing a live watch along. I'll be live from 10 to 8. So make sure to tune in, and yeah, feel free to get involved in the chat. Let me know your thoughts whilst we're watching the game. And I will also do a match reaction later that evening, probably around 11 o'clock, similar to this time. So yeah, so that's the schedule for this week, and that is it for tonight's show. So thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.